Canadians are totally fed up with tipping. I understand why. It's gone so ridiculous. Look at this video. Gone too far. Canadians fed up with tipping. This was posted 7 hours ago, roughly, almost at 200K views. I mean, that's actually a huge amount of views for a news story like this that's not about a war or not about something very drastic. Let's take a look at this plus a couple other short clips.
Tipping used to be a no-brainer for many of us. You leave a little extra money for good service. Now there's an expectation to leave a tip in places where it was not expected before. And a new survey suggests Canadians are fed up, with a majority wanting to get rid of tipping culture altogether. CTV's Kimberly Fowler joins us in studio with more on this. Kimberly.
Well, Patricia, a new study commissioned by H&R Block finds that nearly 2/3 of Canadians say they've reached their tipping point literally and are questioning if it's time to get rid of tipping for good.
2/3. Wow. Europe, the tipping culture is way different. I was recently in Asia. A lot of people don't even tip there. I tip because I'm so conditioned to do so. But in Canada, I have been tipping less lately. Still in a restaurant, if I sit down, of course, I'll tip. I enjoy tipping, but for certain things like Uber, I still do tip, but I tip a little less than I used to.
A lot of Canadians say they're pretty much done with tipping.
I think it should be included in the price. You shouldn't be asked to tip.
Just because you're doing your job doesn't mean you need to be tipped for doing your job.
Many businesses implemented suggesting tipping options during the pandemic, but now the expectation to leave a tip has some customers saying it's gone too far.
I used to love tipping extra for really good service, and I feel like that's kind of gone away now. Even for bare minimum service, they expect 18-20%.
And they're not alone. A new survey by H&R Block finds 2/3 of Canadians want to do away with the practice. And nearly 9 out of 10 people say they resent businesses that ask for tips at places where they don't feel tipping is necessary.
89%. It is very difficult to get any question answered with that much support. 89% is incredible. Think of like your least favorite politician and how much support they have. It's not 11%. It's way higher, probably. I mean, probably anyway.
4 out of 10 people say they avoid going to places that ask for tips at the register, like fast food places, coffee shops, or self-service counters.
I go to Chuck's here.
It's just the social pressure of it. It's so awkward, right? When you're in line and they turn the thing around. Oh, it's just going to ask you a question. 15, 20, 25% tip. And people are around. You don't want to look like a cheapo. Sometimes I'll tip like 25 cents or just nothing. Lots of times I'll tip nothing, but still, I get the social pressure aspect of it. It's annoying.
Quite a bit. They don't ask for a tip. And the service is fantastic.
At Chuck's Deli and Convenience at Train Yards, tips aren't expected, but appreciated.
They have a tip jar, which is optional at the counter, which I do quite often with them because the ladies are fabulous.
The owner believes all tips should be left up to his customers.
Some customers like to, and some people...
But getting rid of tipping could affect the day-to-day operations in the service industry, and at restaurants, it could mean higher prices for customers to offset the loss of income to employees.
I'm fine with that, to be honest.
I would assume it would be included in the price. I mean, minimum wage is quite high already, so if tipping were to be taken away, I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what the workforce would look like for that.
But many say the tip...
I mean, that's pretty tough, though, I think, for someone to hear that's making minimum wage, that minimum wage is quite high. I think it is quite high in Canada, though, relative to USA, but anyway.
If tipping were to be taken away, I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what the workforce would look like for that.
But many say the tip options make them feel guilty or pressured.
Even though we feel annoyed by this question for the tip on the machine, 57% of us, so more than half of us, will give a tip anyway.
Wow, 57%.
And many people we spoke to today say they've noticed the expectation of how much to tip continues to go up, with many businesses having the minimum option to tip starting at 20%. Patricia.
Wow.
Big number.
Yeah, I've definitely seen where the minimum is 18. Of course, 15% a lot of times is the minimum option. That's pretty high for a tip, especially if it's just like giving you a cup of coffee. That's so ridiculous. That does not deserve 15 or even 10%. Maybe 10, like 25 cents, I don't know, or maybe just zero. But we will look at one more video here. Actually, two more quick ones.
Nearly 70% of Canadians in a new poll say they like to see tipping a thing of the past. The poll from H&R Block showing mounting...
Well, if it's the same, I'll just go to some reaction on the street here.
The minimum you see in some places is 22%, which is, I think, quite unreasonable.
Definitely places, where you're going up to the counter and getting it yourself, I don't believe should be getting a tip.
And as more places ask...
This story would not get as much traction if Canada had a hot economy. We haven't had a hot economy in a long time. People don't have any money. People are living paycheck to paycheck and then being asked all the time for tips. It's... I can see why people are upset about this.
For a tip?
I am too.
People are feeling pressure to give, with over half of respondents to the poll saying they gave a gratuity even though they didn't want to.
They expect 18% on the pay systems, and it's really awkward to get to where you want to put your actual tip in. If it's poor service, you don't want to pay 18%.
Fast food and...
True. We'll take a look now at one more short clip and then wrap it up. Okay, final clip is right here from City News. I just again want to emphasize that
tipping
this video, I find it striking how much it struck a nerve. 191,000 views is a lot in 7 hours. I know I mentioned that already, but I guess a lot of people really are fed up with tipping because look at some of these other videos. 61, 16,000. I'm not, by the way, like even being critical of CTV right now at all for low views. I'm not, because they release videos very frequently. They're not all going to get hundreds of thousands of views. That's not my point. My point is just that this tipping video obviously struck some type of nerve because we haven't even got to it yet. But look at this, 81 views, 35 views, 4.3 thousand, 13,000, 1.7 thousand. We're not even at the tipping one yet. I'm sure we're going to get to it in a second here. There we go. 192,000. Look at the two videos beside it. 239, 110. That is actually quite fascinating. Man, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this tipping culture stuff because, again, in Asia, a lot of people didn't tip. That's certainly true in Europe. I think the two major tipping countries are Canada and USA. There's probably some other ones that I'm not aware of, but man, the tipping for grabbing a muffin is so annoying.
Well, it appears tip fatigue is reaching new highs as a new survey finds 2/3 of Canadians want to throw away tipping culture for good. The study commissioned by H&R Block Canada finds 67.
Yeah, so same data they're going to reference there. So with that said, I'll finish my video, but thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What's your tip? How much do you tip? Do you tip at those awkward moments where it's just somebody that grabbed you a cup of coffee or something like that? But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day.